Good evening, and welcome to our showing of Loving 2016, the third film in our mini-series SCOTUS in the Movies, written and directed by Jeff Nichols, starring Ruth Negga and Joel Edgerton. This film relates the true story of Richard and Mildred Loving, the plaintiffs in the Supreme Court case Loving versus Virginia from 1967, which invalidated state laws prohibiting interracial marriage. It was inspired by Nancy Bursky's 2011 documentary, The Loving Story. The film was co-produced by several production companies well known to American audiences, as the British actor Colin Firth, who founded Rain Dog Films. And he is well known for performing Best Actor Oscar as King George VI in The King's Speech, which ran in 2010. In April 2010, Firth stumbled on this story when he was approached by Nancy Bursky while he was shooting another film in Durham, North Carolina. He was taken with the story of this couple who simply wanted to live as a loving married couple without harassment in their home state of Virginia, and whose tenacity and bravery resulted in changing the lives of thousands of people like them. By April 2011, the documentary had been shown at Durham's Full Frame Festival, attracting much attention. Loving was not a popular film at the box office, earning just under $13 million on a budget of $9 million, although it received rave reviews. Nichols, who wanted to make a film that concentrated on the couple's daily life, was well aware that his approach would not be a monetary success, but he knew that the film had the potential to become part of the dialogue surrounding the Loving case, and he was content with the level of accuracy they were able to depict using all of Bursky's archival materials and photographs and Peggy Loving's endorsement of his work. Peggy was the Loving's only surviving child. Negga and Edgerton used Gray Villett's photographs of the Lovings to get a sense of their body language and carriage, most notably in the shot of Richard lying on the sofa with his head in Mildred's lap, which was modeled directly after Villett's Life magazine photograph. Loving was shot in many locations in Washington, D.C., and several Virginia counties, including Caroline, King and Queen, and Dinwiddie counties. Specific scenes were filmed at the Caroline County Courthouse, the Richmond Dragway in Sandston, Virginia, the towns of Ashland, Church Hill, Bowling Green, and Central Point, Virginia, the Virginia Historical Society, and the Virginia Supreme Court in Richmond. The drag racing scenes were shot at the Lawrenceville, Brunswick Municipal Airport with vintage 1950s cars. Negga and Edgerton toured all the Virginia filming sites with Peggy Loving for 2 weeks to familiarize themselves with the setting of their parents' story. The film's costume and set designers went to great lengths to develop clothing and settings that would create a sense of authenticity to the 1950s urban and rural environments of the movie. Costume designer Erin Bennick came across a period photo of Mildred in a black and white check dress with a little jacket and was literally able to find and rent it for the movie from a Hollywood costume supplier. Skirts and blouses were used for Mildred's city life and simple house dresses for her more rural years. The set designer, Chad Keith, went to his father's home in North Carolina, emptied the garage of everything in it, and put it all on the set. The Lovings' original home in King and Queen County was found to be too small to film in, so he found another 1920s farmhouse south of Richmond, stripped the interior, removed the kitchen, took down the enclosed back porch, and added fresh paint and wallpaper. Plot summary. Richard Loving, a rural white bricklayer living in backwoods Virginia, falls in love with a local black woman, Mildred Jeter. In 1958, when Mildred realizes she's pregnant, they decide to marry, although both know that interracial marriage violates Virginia's anti-miscegenation law. So they drive to Washington, D.C., where they marry legally. Richard proudly plans to build a home for his new bride and their baby, close to their families in Virginia. But when they return home, word of their presence gets out, and the local sheriff raids their home in the middle of the night, slapping them in jail because their union is considered illegal. With the help of a local lawyer, they accept a plea bargain allowing them to go free if they agree to leave the state and not return for 25 years. The Lovings return to Washington, where they live quietly with their growing family for several years. But Mildred grows increasingly unhappy, and yearns to go back to her family home. They find a farmhouse in a remote rural setting and live quietly until someone again snitches to the local authorities, and they are arrested once more. All along, Mildred tries to get help, even going so far as to write to Attorney General Bobby Kennedy, who forwards her letters to the ACLU. Mildred's letter is still in the Kennedy archives. Thus begins the Lovings' 10-year battle to save their marriage, making their way through the courts and culminating in their Supreme Court case, Loving versus Virginia. Fun facts about the film. Exterior scenes of the jail where the Lovings were incarcerated were shot at the real Caroline County Jail. The courtroom where they plead guilty to the crime of being married is also the real thing. The decision in Loving versus Virginia, unanimously striking down Virginia's Racial Integrity Act of 1924, automatically nullified similar laws in 15 other states. It was later applied as precedent in another important Supreme Court case, Obergefell versus Hodges, the 2015 decision that legalized same-sex marriage. Much of the dialogue in Loving comes directly from Bursky's 2011 documentary. Mildred's New York Times obituary stated that she preferred to identify as Native American. She was Rappahannock on her mother's side and Cherokee on her father's. In October 2016, Loving became the first movie to be screened in Oprah Winfrey's Theater in the National Museum of African American History and Culture. 2 years before they won their Supreme Court case, the Lovings lost the appeal of their conviction under the 1924 Virginia anti-miscegenation law. The judge in that decision, Caroline County Circuit Judge Leo H. Bazelon, depicted in this film, wrote in his decision that, quote, Almighty God created the races white, black, yellow, Malay, and red, and he placed them in separate continents. But for the interference with his arrangement, there should be no cause for such marriages. The fact that he separated the races shows that he did not intend for the races to mix, close quotes. The props crew rented a bunch of old, unfinished furniture from an antique shop, repurposed it for the sets. Some Washington, D.C. shots were actually filmed in Richmond, Virginia. Michael Shannon, who plays the Life magazine photographer Gray Villett, has appeared in all of Jeff Nichols' films. In the turkey dinner scene, both Mildred and Richard are shown using their forks and knives European or Asian style, not American style. The actress playing Mildred, Ruth Negga, is British, and the actor playing Richard, Joel Edgerton, is Australian. Things to look for: Mildred's black and white check dress. Mildred and Richard using their forks and knives foreign style in the turkey dinner scene. The terrifying scene in which Mildred and Richard are rousted from their bed in the middle of the night and dragged off to jail. All the interesting location sites. The Lovings' carefully repurposed farmhouse and its furnishings. The Caroline County Jail and Courthouse, the drag racing scene, Richard's tall, slumping figure, hanging his head because of all his heavy work as a bricklayer. Now, folks, time to view Loving. Sit back, make yourselves comfortable. Please wait a few minutes for the film to show. Enjoy.